Alright guys, so I was back in the woods and I found some tulip poplar bark. So if you don't know what a tulip poplar is, this is a leaf. They've got like just, you know, they all look like this kind of leaf. Kind of got like the three sides, whatever, and then, you know, they're all shaped pretty similar to this. All the leaves. So, and then this is what the bark looks like. It's a pretty smooth bark. It doesn't have a whole lot of, you know, real deep grooves in it, and you can use the bark. It makes a good fire starter. But in this video, what I'm going to try to do is make some sort of a basket. So you can like peel it off, and alright, see how it peels off, just, you know, super easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and peel it and get some like just slabs, I guess, of this bark, and, you know, I'm going to try to make some sort of basket. Initially I was going to do like a quiver, but I couldn't get a big thick piece, so I'm just going to kind of, you know, see what happens, and then, you know, we'll go from there. Alright, so I watched this video of this guy, and what he done is he kind of like scraped the bark off. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. At first I'm just going to try to rip it and see how that goes, so we'll see how that goes. Also, Tops mountain lion, using it again. So alright, stay tuned. Alright, so just to start off, what I'm doing is I'm taking my knife. I'm trying to get this on camera and everything. So I'm just taking my knife and kind of like peeling the bark. I don't know if this is, you know, the right way to do it, but this is how I'm doing it. Like I said, first time. I just know you can do it. Never done it before, so we're kind of experimenting. So, but just taking my knife and kind of peeling back the hard bark from this inner bark. So we'll see how it goes. So I've got one piece. I actually switched to my Leatherman. It's got a different grind on it, and it's a little bit, just a little bit better. But I've got one piece, and it's actually kind of tough, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna keep going, and hopefully this turns out pretty good. Alright guys, so I think I'm gonna take this in a little bit different of a direction. It's really not going super great, so I think what I'm gonna do is leave it, because I've seen them with the bark on too. It's just the way I'm doing it, it's peeling bad, and I'm getting bad like strands. So I still think I'm going to use some of the strands that I've got down here, but I'm going to make a little bit smaller of a pouch than I initially wanted. I mean, it's really not that big a deal. Like I said, I'm just testing it out. So I'm going to, like I said, make it a little bit smaller, and I've still got this piece over here, so I'm going to try it out too, and hopefully maybe combine the two some way. So I don't know if it'll be very big at all. It probably won't, but I think it'll still look cool, so let's try it out. Alright, so here's another thing. I was watching a Clay Hayes, and he was making an arrow quiver out of it, and he said something, I didn't watch the whole video, but he said something about scoring lines in it, kind of like cardboard. So I went ahead and tried to do that where I'm wanting to fold it, and just see if that works. Like I said, I probably should have watched the whole video, but I didn't. I was just kind of like just more interested in getting out here and doing it than watching a video. So if it turns out bad, it's 100% my fault. But I've got this mark scored here, I've got a little mark scored here. I'm going to score it a little bit deeper, but he said it's kind of like folding a cardboard or something like that. It just gives it a spot to fold. One thing about the bark being on is it definitely makes it a little bit stiffer, and it makes it want to crack. That's just from my experience. So, but we're going to try it out, and hopefully it works. So I've got my two pieces. I'm just trying to get them both about the same size, because I'm going to have them kind of like this and then fold them both up. So it's going to be like it might end up being like a quiver, which is initially kind of what I was going for, but it's going to be kind of short. So it's just going to be like a tall basket. Maybe I'll call it a vase. I don't really know. There's like probably going to be no purpose in this other than the learning process, which for me is cool, because this is kind of one of those things like I've always kind of wanted to do, just never have. And then now I've got the resources to do it, so I'm going to try it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this side and this side really similar, and then I'm going to take these pieces that I did debark, and I'm going to try to kind of weave those in and hope it turns out good. So we're just going to try it out. It's just going to be what it is. It might end up being cool. It might end up being completely not cool, but I feel like it's going to be cool. So let's try her out. All right, so this time scoring the marks, what I'm doing is using the saw on my Leatherman. On these, I use my Mountain Lion, and it's probably just a wonder I didn't cut my leg, but safety first. So I'm using a saw on the ground, no chance of cutting myself, which is what I would suggest to all people watching. Knife safety. Practice it. Might help you out in the long run. Probably will. So, like I said, using this saw, score my lines, and then I'll show you in the next part. Right here is kind of what we're looking at. I'm going to weave in those pieces, and then we'll see what it ends up being like. So far, I'm just holding it with my hands. I'm thinking it'll probably end up looking kind of cool. So, all right, we'll see what it looks like. Just to keep it in place, what I've done is I've just taken a piece of that bark and wrapped it around. So now I can weave the other bark through it, and hopefully it looks pretty good. So we're going to try it out. So I just had this idea. This may or may not ruin it. I'm not sure. I'm going to try and split these just a little bit, so that way it weaves a little bit easier, and that way it'll hold it better. Because I feel like as I've got it now, I won't have enough like places to weave through. So I'm going to try it out. Alright, so this big piece, I split it into 3 sections, and this small piece I just split it in half. I was afraid if I had to split that one in 3, I would have just messed it up. So I'm going to tie it back together like I had it, and then try to weave it from there. Alright guys, so I think I've kind of messed up, sort of. So in order for this to work, I think you need to have an uneven amount of like the little slivers. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I've got enough on that one right here that I can split it and have, you know, have sort of an uneven amount. So, because what I've noticed is I was trying to splice it in and weave it through, and it would just come out bad because of the even amount of splits I had. So I'm going to try and split that, and we'll see if that works. If not, I'll let you know. Alright, after a little bit more looking at it and thinking about it, instead of splitting this what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this one off. It's kind of messed up anyways, and I don't think it's going to hurt it that much, and it'll have an uneven amount. If I knew now what I knew, wait a minute, if I knew then what I knew now, what I would have done is instead of splitting this one in two, I would have just split it in one, that way to give me an uneven amount. But like I said, never done it before, just learning, so we're trying it out. So I'm going to cut this off and then wrap it back up, and then I'll try and finish it then. Alright, so I also put a hole in the bottom of it with a stick because I realized it kept sliding around on me. So this way, this will hold it in place. It's not super necessary. I don't think it's actually really necessary at all. Just preference kind of thing. I just done it to see if it'll help. And if it doesn't, I mean, the hole that I put in it isn't big enough to affect anything, so it'll just be there. Alright guys, so here it is, finished product. Well, mostly finished. I'm still gonna fix the little bits that's hanging off and stuff, maybe cut some of it off and everything, but here it is. It's got a little handle. I mean, it's not the most gorgeous basket I've ever seen, but I don't think it looks that bad. So what I've done is, like the tall pieces that I had, I ended up kind of shaving them down and weaving them through a little bit, give a little bit more rigidity to it. And I mean, if you just go picking, I don't know, picking fruit or something, I think that'd be fine. You know, you're not gonna be picking any berries or anything, they'll fall through the bottom there, but you know, for the most part, I think it's nice. You know, I mean, it's got a little handle there. So overall, I think it was cool. It's a neat experience. Definitely learned a little bit. If I, you know, I could have took more time and skinned the bark a little bit thinner, and I could have got a little bit neater of a basket. But you know, just for trying it out, I think it done all right. You know, like I said, still got a little bit of stuff I could, you know, cut off and make it look a little bit better. But you know, all in all, I think it turned out pretty nice. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, if you like this kind of stuff, let me know. I can do some more bushcrafty type stuff, kind of like this. I feel like this is bushcraft. I mean, yeah, I think this is considered bushcraft. So, yeah, like I said, let me know. Drop a like, comment. I've got other videos, you know, kind of similar to this. So, you know, go check out some of my other videos, and you know, come back on the next one. See ya.